Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory
To Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakadash.
Give honors, much love, and respect to the elders and apostles of Yahshua. We know what they be. Blessed and salutations to your fellow Akim laboring in this ministry of truth and sincerity, as well as to Akwafim and children of Yahshua, following after the spirit and guidance of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So, I don't want Ratazai to be a quick lesson. We just going to jump straight into it, brother.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
Khan. A good name, so like, can you read that one more time?
Khan, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
A good name is more precious than ointment, because the Lord had told us when Yahushua was walking on earth, it was to be peaceable amongst all men, that thou shalt have a good rapport amongst men. And we learned that from our elders and apostles, found that great millstone. And when we go about our daily journeys, we go about it peaceably as much as possible. We go about our daily journeys dealing with the heathens, dealing with 2/3 of our own nation, and we act according to the will of the Most High Heavenly Father, and that is to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. Just last night, Edomite, because of my profession, I have to deal with a lot of Edomites. Come to find out, I'm dealing with a lot of Amalekites. And she told me she can see me as a humble and caring man. And I said some of your words, to a degree, your words are true. Your words are true. But then she also said, I can tell by the past few days of just being around you that you're a powerful man. And and I took that with a grain of salt, because it's all the will of the Most High Heavenly Father, how each and every last man that tries to strive for the truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, what his end may be. But I only brought that up just to say that, when we deal with these people, we're supposed to conduct ourselves a certain way. And when we conduct ourselves in the way of, in the same spirit of Yahushua, which is the same spirit as Yahweh, the people of this world see us and perceive us in a certain way. Now we know that it's going to come a time when the people is going to perceive us as evil, and the people are going to perceive us and receive us for wrongdoing, even though in the eyes of the Most High Heavenly Father we're doing good. The precept, brother.
Khan, and it says, in the day of death than the day of one's birth. All right. So Khan, the reason it says that, because the day of your death is the day better than the day of your birth, because your spirit goes back up to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and you're at peace, all right? Israelites and the heathens, all right? Until you receive your judgment and you come back down, all right? So this is going to be the book of Sirach, chapter 30, in verse 17. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness, all right? So Khan, it's better for your spirit to go back to the Heavenly Father than basically is to be on this earth and sick for 100 years.
Mm-hmm. And that's the spirit, because to continue, like in my profession, when I'm dealing with these Edomites, I had not only have I seen people pass away, the Most High fade their spirit away, I've also heard out of heathen's mouth, but more so out of Edomites' mouth, because they are the Most High be jacking these heathens up, man. We go about our daily lives. We may not see a lot of us may not see the judgment that the Most High does unto these heathens, but the Most High blessed me to be in a position where I'm seeing how jacked up, how cold-hearted the Most High can be, not only towards our people, but unto the heathen. And Edomite woman, other than the one I was mentioned prior to, told me, she was like, I'd rather be dead than to be in the state that I am. You know, cause she's not only she can't move her neck. She can't move her neck side to side. You know, and she's in a position where she literally has to be catered you know what? Matter of fact, to make it more simple, the brothers that may watch Family Guy, she's in the same state as Joe Swanson. You know, from Family Guy, the paraplegic that can't move his legs. She can't move her legs. She can't move her neck. And on top of that, you know, she's always complaining because she can't do anything that she once used to. You know, and that's judgment from the Most High Heavenly Father. And she told me that she was dead because in the state that she's in right now, she's in hell. She literally said those words. I am in hell.
Once again, this is Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30 and verse 17. Death is better than a bitter life, or continuous sickness. She said she'd rather be dead than to not be able to move her feet. You know what I'm saying? Be able to walk around, and that's true. You know.
And I got another testimony because you know it's always good to bring examples in life unto these scriptures. Because I have another, and it's funny, I'm getting all my examples from Edomite bitches. I have another Edomite woman I was dealing with just last night. And the Most High cursed her to where she couldn't move half of her body. thought it said Rothschild, and my spirit got real hot. But it was Rothbard, and he had a yarmulke in his room with the Yiddish Hebrew written in it. And I'm trying to talk to him. He's trying to talk to me to get me to understand what he wants out of me. And I'm getting frustrated because on top of that, I'm not even trying to deal with this Amalekite. But other than that, I can't understand him. And the Most High jacked him up so bad he had a stroke. He can't move one side of his body, just like the Edomite I mentioned before. And he has a horrible speech impediment. So he can't even speak. All he can do is groan. And when you outside of his room, all he can do is just groan and cry. He can't even say help. So Most High cold, man. Most High is cold, and it's Salakia. If you can grab the scripture that says that it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Most High, because it is, man. And you Israelites, so this video may just have to be a warning unto you Israelites, because the Most High isn't just jacking up these heathen. You Israelites are going to get jacked up just as bad and or worse than these heathens. And you are. It's evident that the Most High is going to deal with you Jakes. 2/3 of you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Hispanics, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians, just as the Most High is doing to these heathens.
This is the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Yeah, because it's a very terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Heavenly Father Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Because for one thing, to start off with, he's not a respecter of persons. Okay, so we are being of the hopeful elect. We're trying to do everything in our power, man, to receive mercy from the Heavenly Father, because you got to remember he's not a respecter of persons. So if you fall into his hands, that ass out. All right, the Heavenly Father got uncountable ways to take you out, man, and make you suffer and deal with it.
There's a show called I think it's on MTV where it's 1,000 Ways to Die. Hey, Most High been here before, and before the times was created. So. There's no telling how many ways the Most High can fuck an individual up. Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 7, going back to those heathens that the brother said that his plantation are suffering. And the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So everything that was happening to the so-called Negro, the so-called Hispanic, the so-called Native American, now these curses are beginning to fall upon these heathen nations, first starting with Esau. All right, you Edomites, the number one nation that the Heavenly Father Yahweh hates.
So Most High said that that curses that's not written in this book shall fall upon me as well. And there's and to make another quick testimony, because I know my phone's getting ready to die. There's an MB that I had to deal with a few weeks ago. She had a tube up her nose and she looked terrible. She was in isolation. And I was getting information out of the nurse, and I was asking her, like, what the fuck is going on with her? And she told me that she had nose cancer. I'm looking like, I've never heard of no fucking nose cancer. Come to find out that when they operated on her, the surgeons did something to where her glands, the glands in her throat are dysfunctional. So not only does she have nose cancer, but she can't breathe properly. So they had to put a feeding tube down her nose and a trach in her throat. And I don't even know if she's still in that same room anymore. But man, Most High can look. There is nothing that the Most High can't do to make you fear. If you have something else.
Yeah, I got one more precept before the phone died. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 41, starting at verse 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproach for his sake. And kind, these heathen nations, starting with you Edomites, y'all complaining of the things that was done in the past, saying it wasn't me, it was my forefathers, but really it was you. Okay?
And to add on that, you're complaining about what's happening unto you now, saying that you're not deserving of what's going on to you.
Kind, let's continue on. Let's go and get to that. Verse 8 of Sirach, chapter 41. Woe be unto the ungodly men which have forsaken the law of the Most High Yahweh, for if you increase, it shall be to your destruction. All right? In verse 9. And if you be born, you shall be born to a curse. All right? And if you die, a curse shall be your portion. Going all the way back to your... Okay, we know that Esau is Edom, but even going back to to Cain, because Cain was cursed, all right? And through the spirit, we know that Cain is Esau, all right? So, yeah.
So with that, I don't want to emphasize this was an edifying lesson. If it be so, Lord's will, increase the ear of the elect, that it be nourishing food unto the flock. And with that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. The bonus, much love and respect to those apostles of Yasharala. We know where they be, found that great millstone. Blessings and salutations to the fellow Akim that's laboring and enduring and keeping the faith of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and truth and sincerity, as well as to the Aquaf and the children of Yasharala, following after the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and truth and sincerity. With that, we say Shalom.
Shalom and blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.